Hey, it's me, Carly Craziness, or Carly Ann, whatever it is you prefer. And I am making another video. I'm coming at you with another video. And I want to talk about media and the mass amounts of queer baiting they do and why more. And ask the question, why do more predatory characters get a happy ending? First off, can I ask, why do more predatory slash abusive characters get a happy ending than, say, like, and more or more queer characters or LGBTQ characters get put in the ground? For example, Pretty Little Liars. On Pretty Little Liars, you have Aria marry her stalker and her, like, abuser. You have Ezra Fitz, who should be in prison. He stalked 4 underage girls to write a book on their other underage friend. He started up a relationship with Aria, knowing she was underage and knowing that she was going to be his student, and did that to gain her trust on Allison, who he hadn't. Allison, their friend, who's also abusive, but she was underage while she was going with Ezra, and that's not a problem. But Ezra still gets a happy ending. But then you have characters like Paige on a journey of self-discovery, and I'm not saying what she did to Emily was okay, because it wasn't. But at least we have Paige, who makes one little mistake, who makes a few mistakes here and there, gives a sincere apology, and does everything in her power to be a better person. And she still gets hated on. But then Allison, who we actively saw abuse her friends, Allison fat shamed Hannah, shamed her into throwing up, blackmailed Aria's father. She blackmailed Spencer and made fun of her addiction problem, basically. She took advantage of Emily's feelings for her and bullied half the town. And people wanted Allison gone, including Paige, which I don't blame her, because Allison was a bully and was a terrible person to her. And yet Allison gets to have Emily and marry Emily because of this forced storyline. But Paige doesn't get any closure, and Paige is still villainized for having suspicious feelings about Allison. I mean, Paige, a good lesbian character, gets fucked over. Allison gets to have Emily. I hate Emerson and Aria and Ezra so much, because they just ruin the show for me. And the fact that they end up together and they're in abusive relationships, they're abusive, predatory relationships. Well, not Allison, and Emily, but ew. No. No, thank you. Emily could have ended up with a plethora of different people. Aria could have just ended up with Liam, and I would have totally been fine with that. But no. You had to go with a stalker victim relationship, and I hate it. Okay. And then you have Regina get a happy ending. Regina Mills from Once Upon a Time gets to be queen of everyone. Queen of the good queen. Even though, my personal opinion, I think she kind of had a really shitty redemption arc. Because she kept going back and forth and like, oh, nothing is going my way, I have to go back to being evil, to, oh, things are going good, I'm gonna be good now. And it's like, okay, I know that she genuinely does love Henry, But it's just like, but it just feels like it unearned. And she like spent years abusing Henry. And I did not, like, emotionally, and like the way you treated me wasn't an accident. You made it so no one believed me. You made me feel like I was crazy. Sorry, I keep moving around. But Regina gets a happy ending. Regina raped a man for 28 years. For that's almost 3 decades of his life. And then when he started to take control, he crushed his heart. And then Adam and Eddie argue that it wasn't rape, it was totally consensual. And people under the curse had free will, even though they have Regina say this line, "Everyone does what I want them to." Well, what's the problem, dearie? Rumpel says. Well, they do it because they have to, not because they want to. So, if they do it because they have to, how in the hell is that free will? Because you're doing it because you're being forced to. And you're being tricked into having free will. That's not free will, Adam and Eddie. And what Regina did to Graham was rape. Okay, and I know I keep mentioning that, but this is a real topic of conversation, and we need to have a discussion, okay? Because you've written 3 rape storylines, okay? Or more, depending on if Rumpel raped Belle, which I totally think he did. Regina's, and then you have Zelina, who got a redemption arc, who got to be let into the whole good guy crew, who got to be let into be a hero, even though Zelina herself is a rapist and raped Robin Hood, but she still got somewhat of a happy ending and got to have a true love. And she's never punished for raping Robin Hood. And then she names her daughter Robin Hood. To me, that whole storyline just felt like, because Regina did something to herself to make her infertile. And it just felt like, oh, haha, I can have a baby. I'm more of a woman than you are because you can't have a baby and I can have a baby. So ha 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 ha. And I raped your boyfriend to have that baby. Well, she didn't do that, but that's to me what it felt like, that whole rape storyline. And then the fact that Zelina gets to keep baby Robin Hood. But yet Snow and Charming are forced to give up Emma. That's just so fucked up. And so, like, awful. Ugh. And then you have Gothel. Who thankfully didn't get really a happy ending. She got turned into a tree because of Alice. So thank God for that. But Alice from Once Upon a Time, who is Hook, or Nook, and Gothel's child by rape, because Gothel pretended to be Rapunzel and raped Hook. And it's like, ugh. And then Rumpel, who's a fucking wife killer, killed Mila twice, and he still gets to be with Belle? But yet, characters like Ruby, after getting a female love interest, because it would make sense that you made Ruby the bisexual character, after getting Dorothy and Ruby together, a lesbian couple that we're never going to see again. No, we can't see them again. Or was it, like, what is it, like, Wolfie and Kansas? Or Red Slippers? Or Ruby Slippers, whatever the hell their ship name is. It's an adorable ship name. But it's like, why did you give us our first lesbian couple, only have them written off the show? And the closest to a lesbian couple we were going to get was Mulan and Aurora. Organic, natural storytelling. Their story unfolded, progressed, and it was building into a healthy romantic relationship, or at least I thought it was, but then they totally had to go the straight route with Aurora and put her with Philip. And then you had Mulan go join Robin Hood's crew, and Shang doesn't exist in this universe because apparently the live action universe does not like Shang because he's not going to be in the Mulan movie at all. So, what the hell is that about? Like, Mulan and Shang don't get to have a happy ending, or Mulan and Aurora don't get to have a happy ending, but yet you put like the most basic couples together. And then you have Rumble, who is possibly arguably the most abusive relationship on that show, because Rumble killed his wife. You have the fact that he has lied and manipulated Belle on multiple occasions. He put a tracking device on Belle, doesn't respect Belle's choices, tries to take her ability away to consent, and not consent, but like make choices for herself. And she keeps getting back with him, kept getting back with him under dubious means, and you just have her be in this abusive relationship when, in my opinion, you could have made Belle either a lesbian or made her bisexual and have her be with Ruby, because, let's face it, most of the non-canon queer couples have much better chemistry than the straight couples. But no, you couldn't have done that. You couldn't have had her be with, like, Ruby or Adam, the actual beast. Have her be in a healthy relationship, not with Rumple. By the way, Rumple looks really old enough to be Belle's father, and that's a little creepy. Although there are some couples out there like that, and they're happily married, but it just no. And then Adam and Eddie do really terrible at couples. Like, but Mulan and Aurora can't be together. Nope. Just sad. And then Ezra Fitz and Arya, which I've touched on it briefly. Predator-stalker relationship. And he's someone in power abusing his he's someone abusing his authority. I mean, Ezra Fitz needs to go to prison. He should have gone to prison. I mean, he stalked 4 underage girls. He's stolen Spencer's file to try and discredit her. And by the way, that was illegal, and that is against ethical code, and that is a confidentiality violation. Then you have the fact that J.K. Rowling pretty much just craps on her gay characters. Dumbledore isn't even acknowledged as gay. Remus Lupin isn't a gay man because he's supposed to be a metaphor for HIV, apparently. A gay man with HIV, and he's like a monstrous creature, and he can't be with Sirius, but he can be with Tonks because it's straight. And apparently, didn't someone say that Tonks and Remus are cousins? Because it's been a while since I've read the books. And then you have the fact that Snape gets to be deemed a hero, even though he was an abusive asshole. And then you have Credence from Fantastic Beasts being preyed upon by Grindelwald, who is a closeted wizard, which is code for closeted gay character. And the fact that Credence is played by Ezra Miller and he gets treated like crap and is coded as a gay character and is played by a gay actor. And then he turns into a big monster-y smoke cloud. He deserved better. So, yeah. And then Scorpius. Queer-baited. I haven't read the book, but I heard they had amazing chemistry, had very palatable chemistry, and no, gay. They had to go the straight route with Scorpius, because of course nothing can ever be gay because it's for children. Despite the fact that you have Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch, who's a cross-dresser, and Jumba, and Pleakley to me could have been easily seen as a gay couple. But no. Nope. Not at all. It's like, why? Why couldn't they have been a gay couple? I mean, you already have Pleakley freaking cross-dressing. And you had that boy, Keone, or whatever the hell his name is, that redheaded boy that skateboards that Lilo had a crush on. Had a crush on Pleakley, even though Pleakley is a man. I guess and he thought Pleakley was a woman? I don't know. So I guess that's like the closest to gay you're gonna get on a kid's show. And then you have Rumble getting more of a happy ending, even though Rumble, as I've said before, is a wife killer and he's totally abusive and to Belle. And I don't know why they got a happy ending. Well, you've totally fucked over Sleeping Warrior. So, sorry I'm swearing a lot, but it just makes me so mad. I'm just so tired of seeing gay characters being there for the sake of being gay and like, oh, look, we have rap. But then you're not flushing the gay characters out, if that makes sense. The biggest example of a queerbait that I can think of is Gyrus from Andy Mack. Jonah Beck and Cyrus Goodman. Although I think they're going to go the route with Tyrus, TJ, and Cyrus. I don't know, though. And I don't like Jandy very much. It's like, first off, Jonah kind of treats Andy like crap. He treats like his random nature girl, 78. I think that's her name on YouTube. Sorry if I fucked your name up, but you know who I'm talking about, who does great reviews on Andy Mack and Girl Meets World. I thought Gyrus for a long time was going to be a couple, but now Cyrus doesn't even like Jonah anymore, and I'm totally heartbroken about that. Like, no! Unless he's transferring his feelings to Cyrus, or not Cyrus, TJ, but like, why? Because I'm totally Team Walker and Andy being together. But why did you have Jandy be a couple? Because Jonah doesn't really respect Andy, and I'm not trying to say he's like intentionally disrespectful, but it's like he treats her more like more like a bud than he does a girlfriend. And I'm not really digging that. And then the other thing that bugs me is, why does Jandy should be like, why do these predatory characters get more of a happy, satisfying, uplifting ending, like Damon Salvatore, who raped Elena, who raped Caroline and killed Elena's brother and kills people that Elena cares about. But Elena wants to be with him, and Damon gets more of a satisfying ending, but Bonnie can't. Bonnie, a black woman, doesn't get a really satisfying ending or a happy ending. And Stefan, a good person, doesn't get a happy ending. Oh no. It's just really frustrating. And then the fact that you have, as I said, J.K. Rowling treats all her gay characters like shit. But I don't feel equipped to point out her problems as much as other people because they're more deep and they're bigger fans than I am of her. And her fans can point it out. But I can still point out some problems she has, but probably not as many as other people can, because I haven't read Harry Potter in a while, although I've recently reread 3 books. So, that's a problem. And then you have the fact that Then you have Larissa, who could have been a great couple, but you spend most of the time, and Dinah Laurel Lance is bi in canon comic books, but then you gave it to her rotten sister because Sarah Lance is the fucking worst. I hate her because her backstory revolves around her sleeping with her sister's boyfriend. And yeah, but Laurel can't get a happy ending. She dies and gets killed off, and most of the time you spent it abusing her, and that's not okay, and you didn't make her bi, and I was kind of hoping that you would have gone the bi route with Black Siren, but of course they're not going to do that, so fuck you, Arrow, for having Olicity shoved down my throat, but you can't go make Laurel bisexual. Great. Another instances of queer baiting that I just now thought of are Wonder Woman in Jail U and this princess in the animated series, and this princess she was protecting. Like, I felt like they have great chemistry together. Like, I felt they had better chemistry than her and Batman, and yet they don't get to be a couple because it's a kid's show. But you can have cross-dressers on a kid's show. And then you have Adam Torres, dead, trans character. Then you have Pusey Washington, dead from asphyxia because a guard crushed her windpipe, and apparently they don't know CPR. And it's... Stop it, media. Stop giving abusive characters and, like, predatory rapist characters a happy ending more than you do your queer ones, because I've seen more queer characters be put in the ground than predator characters. Lexa from The 100, dead. Maggie Sawyer / Alex Danvers, broken up, and Alex Danvers apparently hasn't gotten another female love interest, but then she has to hook up with Sarah Lance because Sarah Lance is a stereotype for bisexual characters, and it's just like, stop it. And I was like, thank God for Nissa, because she's a lesbian character, a black lesbian character actually, which normally black characters and LGBTQ characters get treated like crap, and it's just like, no. But anyway, I'm kind of rambly, so sorry about that. I'm normally rambly, but I normally have my thoughts together, and this is like my 5th time recording this video, so I'm going to see what happens with it. And yeah. And if you guys have any thoughts or feelings, please leave a comment down below. Leave a suggestion if you want to see more videos like this. What kind of videos do you want to see from me? Like, share, and subscribe, and have a good one.